Welcome to Radio Fixer's channel. Subscribe for upcoming videos. Welcome back. This is part 3 of restoration the Zenith radio. I want to really thank you for all the subscribers watching all these videos. Really, my goal is to create these videos so a brand new person can use the information and be able to get into the hobby. It is really a wonderful hobby and very rewarding to bring back something that totally dead back to life and sing again. I highly suggest to go back and watch the other 2 parts of this radio, which we spent time to fix 2 large crack and bakelite and also repaired a missing portion of the bakelite. In part 3, we're going to work on chassis. We're going to examine the chassis to see what need to be replaced, check all the wires, and then focus on filter capacitor and install a new capacitor inside the can and to see what else the radio need. I hope you enjoy this video. You all have a great day. Take care. I'm going to work in this chassis. The gas is never this deep been touched. As you see, it's really a small radio compared to a can of Coke. See, almost the size of can of Coke. You see that? It's really small. I can actually put it on my hand and hold it like that. See, like that. It's pretty small radio. It's a 5 tubes, of course. So we're gonna clean this and gonna open it up to see, what's going on underneath. Well, let's take the tubes out because I don't want to damage the tubes. See, this is how underneath all metal. Pretty interesting way they put this together. Again, compared to can of Coke, it's very small. Okay, since I have the layout of the tubes in the bottom of the radio, so I can take them out and it's a very small tube. Let's see if they have any marking. I also want to document it too. I always like to do that. These paper capacitors, they were totally out. So somebody tried to get to it and they never finished it. Hopefully it wasn't me. Alright, I went online and find the model of this radio is of course a Zenith 5G16 and the chassis was 5G03. So we're able to look at the schematic and find where those 2 capacitors they're coming off, and the O2 megafarad 400 volts, it goes right on the tube 50C5 right here. So this one as you see is O2 400 volts, and this goes right here Of course, the other one goes here. So we figured that out. That's why you need a schematic. I guess I took this out many years ago, and at that time I didn't know how to restore radios, and I left them there. So let's do that. And already measured all this. This resistor is a 1000 resistor. It goes between that capacitor that need to come off. So I'm going to work that to take that off. First, we want to work on this and then install the others. So let's do that. And then I'm going to take a bunch of pictures to document where everything goes to make the job much easier to remove all this. You see the other capacitor that goes here. Always a good idea if you take a bunch of pictures. Believe me, that will be helpful down the road when you're putting things together. I'm going to take the resistor out. That's a 1000 ohm resistor. Alright, all the wires, including the resistor, came out. Now I'm going to bend the post to take that out. See, there is 3 of them, as you see. One more here, and we are done. Alright, finally this is out. Alright, give me a little hard time to come out, but it is out, so let's work on this. I'm going to measure to see what's the reading on this. Let me do that. Alright, this capacitor says that there's a square sign. That's a 50 megafarad, 150 volts, and triangle is a 20 megafarad, 150 volts. Let's measure it to see what we have. That is 34 megafarad, and this is totally off, 141 megafarad. So you see, this is definitely is bad. It needs to be replaced. Definitely is bad. You can tell also, look how, see all this yucky stuff comes out of it. Okay, let's take it apart and install the new capacitors inside this unit. I'm going to save all this cardboard if it's possible. Okay, I take the cover off. A bunch of tar in it, so I had to cut one side and then pull it off. I'm going to fix this. Again, I want to use this cover over it. All this tarnish should come out. Alright, what I'm doing, I'm marking this. I put something like this inside. Use the pen, mark it all around like that. So I'm going to actually cut this case. The reason I'm doing that later on, if I want to change the capacitor of somebody else, be easier. They don't need to take all this stuff out. They can just work it from up there. I will show you how to do that. Alright, this came off. You see how bad it is. And that's actually was a capacitor in there. It's in very bad condition, as you see. Here's the paper. I assume this is aluminum in the middle. Right there. Aluminum foil. Paper and other side paper. So they don't touch each other. It's pretty interesting. See, now this is the 20. The other one was 50. Watch here. If I tear this apart. So that's how they used to make capacitors. Alright, let me clean these things up and get rid of all this junk. a bunch of tar in here. Alright, what I did, I cut those wires that was coming out. This is the negative, I put it against here. The other two, I cut it and bend it because I don't want this comes out, right? So anyway, so also I got this file, you know, because it's pretty sharp. You have to be careful you don't cut yourself, you know, it's not sharp at all. You do both sides, here and here. So, all right. These are what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 22 megafarad, 160 volts, because the volt can be more than what actually radio said. It's 150, but 160 is fine. 20 megafarad is pretty hard to find. You can find those, but they're costly. So this should do. And also I'm going to use 47 megafarad, 160 volt for instead of 50. And that should work. Install these two inside this can and it fit perfect, as you can see. It will fit here. So let's work on that. So the two negative, of course, should go to negative side. I tried before to solder to this wire. There's wires that are cut, and it doesn't work. So what I will do, I'm going to put hole through this. So all these three holes now, see it goes through, so I can wire right here and solder it to the post. As you see, this one has a little square sign, so that is where the 50 megafarad goes here. This is square. This is a triangle, it's 20 megafarad goes here. See, there's a little triangle right here. Alright, what I did, I got a wire, take the insulation out and sent it through those two holes, as you see right here, and wrap it around this post. Now I'm going to solder them. And see, I soldered that wire right in the bottom, here and also here. I'm going to make a loop like this. And that can be soldered right there. Okay. See what I did here? Okay, let's solder the other two. So we finished with this. Let's put them together. All right, what we want to do now, it was aluminum, for the AC system that I have. So I'm going to cut a little bit, measure it here, like that. As you see here, I marked it already. All right. The reason I'm doing this, the later on, if I want to change the capacitors, just I'm going to cut this tape. That's all I have to do to get the capacitor. I do not need to go and take all the wires under the chassis out. So looking good. Of course, when this goes over it, we cannot even see it. So this is done. Okay, what I did, I used again the same tape inside. It's closed. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do now to protect this, because it's a paper, as you saw, I used the Sharpie, to hide those cut area and the paper where the paper was missing. Now I'm actually going to put this tacky glue on it, which would make the paper much stronger, and it's going to look pretty good. Again, I do that to protect the cardboard because this is cardboard and paper. If I don't do this, it's going to start deteriorating, especially, being moved. I'm going to put it everywhere. You will see after it dries, it's going to look very nice. Usually this glue dry pretty fast. Okay, let it dry now. All right, this is next day. As you see, this is totally dry, and actually you can now read what's here much clearer. You see that? Of course, this goes right over here, like that. All right, so we're done with this. Now let's install this inside the radio. All right, I just noticed that the schematic need 60 megafarad, not 50. So let's add another 10 megafarad in this unit. The good thing about that tape is, you can actually remove it. All right. So this one, as you see, is a 47 megafarad. I think I just made a mistake. It's not a big deal. We're going to add another one. Again, the good thing about those loop that I made, I can install another one there with no problem. Yeah, this is a 10 megafarad. Minus goes to the minus side right there, and positive goes to positive side, and I can install it right here. We have a space for all of them. Let's do that. I don't know how I messed that, because the majority of them is 50, not 60. That's what threw me off. Excellent. So we got what we need. Okay, we just twist it just a little bit, see it hold it. Okay, secured. See that? Now we can start soldering all together. I just noticed this wire here, all the insulation is coming off. It runs from here. See, when I touch it, all it comes off. Okay, that wire, we need to do something about it. It goes all the way from here to here, right there. And the insulation all is bad. So we have two options. One, remove it, or I take the old insulation out, put a new insulation in. Let's see which one is easier to do. See, it's all coming out. And there's a capacitor there that need to be replaced anyhow. Just noticed it was there. Didn't see it before. That's 05 200 volts. Man, there's not enough space to get to all this. Definitely need the magnifying glass to be able to see this. Such a small area. I'm checking all the wires to see if they're okay or not. It's going to be a big mess. Okay. I'm pulling the capacitor away so I can get to it. The capacitor goes right here. And there's no space. is out. Let's see if I can heat it up from up here and take it out, because you cannot get underneath that solder, the new one. As I mentioned, there's two options. One, remove this unsolder here, put a brand new wire, but I don't want to get solder close to that. It is doable, but I'm going to show you the second way, so replacing the wire. So what actually I did, I got a wire like this. The thing has two wire inside. I just pulled this out of the insulation. This is an insulation for this wire, was inside. I cut a small piece, the size I need. And this is just insulation wire. I'm going to feed this through here like that. Just twist it like that. All right. It goes all the way. Just want to take your time so you don't damage anything. All the way up. See, this is a little out now. So I'm going to fit this through here. This goes to the negative side of this capacitors. I'm going to take this out. Don't want to damage it. I'm going to put it aside. So this wire, the negative side of those two capacitors goes here, and also this is going to hook up to it. With other parts goes there. Let's do one at a time. So let's feed this through here. So I'm going to bend, send it through exactly the way that I pulled it out. Okay, I got the right tool to do this job. This thing, as I share with you, is very small. That's why it's hard to get to everything. And I don't want to damage anything at all. All right, it's coming through. All right. So as you see, the wire goes right from here, and it goes around. And now we're going to hook it up to this side right here. That's the easiest way to do, because again, I could solder here something, but then I want to show you a different way of doing it. This goes right through this hole, like that. We're going to bend it so it doesn't come out, like that. Okay. And then, of course, this goes there as well. I made this thing too long, but it's okay. I'm going to cut the extra off. It's better to be too long than too short, right? If it's too long, you always can cut the extra off. You don't have enough space to work on this. That's what the problem is. All right. I'm going to bend this as well. Yeah, that is fine. As you see, you see how this goes through this little hole here. So it's from the negative side of here, goes to this post. From here to goes to that post as well. Cut the extra off. All right, there are several other things here goes together. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this capacitor was right there. As you remember, I pulled it out. So I'm going to install the new capacitor inside this old one. And I'm going to install that right there. And we'll show you how to do that as well. I want to take the opportunity and thank you for taking your valuable time watching these videos. If you're interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when a new video being uploaded. You have a great day.